So if people are listening, they should just be open to the fact that they might have traumas, or they probably do, to whatever degree, that are down there in their bodies.
I think people like Russell Brand have said it, but we treat the symptoms, we don't treat the causes. And trauma, I would say, is, and I now firmly believe, is behind 99.9% of addictive behaviour. It just has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be something there.
Just getting to it can take years and take pain and everything. But
who wants to to do that? I mean,
Well, if you look at the alternatives, sometimes, yeah.
People say it's when the pain of facing it becomes less than the pain of living in the situation you're in. So that's certainly what happened to me. Are
you past it? It sounds like you put a lot of that behind you.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good day for me today. A few days ago was tough. The thing is that it's very hard to explain. It has been quite isolating because it's not depression. I don't get depression. It's extreme hypervigilance of the nervous system. So there's a part of my brain that is basically telling me you're about to die. So you either shut down, freeze, or you run, or you leave your body.
Right.
And luckily I don't do that, but it's very hard to manage, and it's very hard.
And you don't describe that as anxiety, that's more just trauma that you're kind of dealing with.
I mean, it is anxiety, yeah. It's hypervigilance.
Okay.
And the only thing I can do is go to bed. But I have a lot more compassion for it now and a lot less shame for it, because I just think, right, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at.
Medication still necessary sometimes?
I've got a view on medication. I mean, I've written this article that I want to publish when I couldn't sleep because of PTSD. It's like, I'm just going to bash this out. And for me, I've been my own walking experiment for medication. And I have a brilliant psychiatrist who will not up dosages or change things. It's only touched certain things. It's taken the edge off things. It hasn't touched the traumatic energy at all. I'm like a living example of that.
Yeah.
It cannot do that. And that's why I wish people would just look more at trauma, because I think that we just throw out pills and then people can't understand why they're not working, so they take more pills. And it's like, it's in your body. You can't get rid of that, And I went for a year and a half, 2 years, was changing medications. They still probably they definitely took the edge off. And I mean, there were times when I was so suicidal. I just dreadful times on the floor. Really thought, shit, you could do something now. So maybe they helped. But
right.
I always knew I had the Samaritans.
Right. Oh, the Samaritans. Yeah. Which is a UK organization, right?
Yeah.
And they're just there for you for suicide watch and prevention.
I just knew that I had them.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Good shout out to the Samaritans.
Well, yeah. It was kind of, yeah.
Interesting. Now, more normally people hear PTSD, they think of soldiers coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq that have had these, kind of brief moments of IEDs, death, that kind of thing, and now they're dealing with it in many ways. And we've had a lot of doctors here that talk about different therapies for PTSD. They're looking at MDMA and psychedelics and all these other things of looking at a therapy based and not just a prescription. Yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, anything that's experiential can take one back to a time. I didn't know MDMA was on the cards.
Yeah, so we have
fabulous.
Right.
I've got PTSD. Well, I want MDMA.
So on the show early on, we had experiences with ayahuasca where we went on these experiences and we confront a lot of these deep down issues kind of head on. Now that's not the best solution for everybody, but it's a really difficult way sometimes of facing a lot of issues that are deep down inside you and affecting your behavior. And I've done this, and it's not usually the nicest experience, but I get a lot of clarity afterwards. Now there's a group called MAPS in the U.S. I think it's I'll think of the acronym, but they use an MDMA therapy where they sit down with two therapists, usually a male and a female, and say they take a soldier from Afghanistan, give them a dose of MDMA, and they actually talk them through the experience. So they re-experience that trauma, but they do it when they're in a mindset where they're not shutting down. and they actually re-experience it, because I think we've proven that memories, they're not actually a version of what happened. They're actually, sometimes we actually reconstruct memories in the present about what happened. And so they actually relive the experience in a better state of mind, in the idea of dealing with that trauma.
And hearing you say that, it's reminding me of the somatic therapy and the EMDR that I've done.
Okay.
Changing an experience, being able to go back there, being able to handle going back there, because it is like time traveling. I'm going to take your body back to when you thought you were about to be killed. And that's interesting hearing about MDMA, that can help the body relax to do that.
Yeah. More coming on that.
Well, can I just say quickly, it was
yeah.
a shaman that got rid of my depersonalization.
Oh, really?
In one session.
Okay.
2.5 years of traumatic.
But no ayahuasca.
Work. No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would do that now.
But
I feel like I've had enough trips. Maybe.